All right, golfers, so today's video is all about how to generate more distance with the driver by utilizing the hands and the wrists in a more functional and efficient way. So let's dive right in. Firstly, when we come to generating distance with the driver, we just want to make sure that we've got a sound grip that's working, because if a grip's so much more than just how we hold the club, a good sound grip gives you access to all these different movements. In terms of what we're going to be using to generate speed, it means you can move your forearms, your arms, your shoulders, your rib cage. It gives you access to all these movements that are going to be required to generate more speed and therefore more distance. If the grip's not quite where we'd want it to be, it can really affect our ability to utilize our wrists and our hands in the right way to generate functional, powerful golf shots. So let's be sure we've got a sound grip. Okay, we're going to split this into three parts. The first segment is all about tension. So tension kills speed. So we've just got to be sure that we're not too tense through our arms, through our shoulders, because that tension really inhibits the ability to generate speed. If I'm tense through my forearms, through my shoulders, with an overly tense grip as well, then I'm going to be very rigid. It's going to be very difficult to generate speed throughout the swing. So guys, just be sure that we've not got too much tension. So what we want to do is a fairly firmish grip, but especially when we start to generate for those that swing fast, you don't want to be holding it too loose, that is for sure. But where you want to be soft and relaxed is through the wrist. So a great test is to be able to just move the club up and down, left and right. You should have access to all these movements and be able to, if you're too rigid, you won't be able to move the wrists independently. You will be like this. So we want to be able to up, down, left, right, versus moving our whole upper segment as we do that. So let's reduce that tension through our arms, through our shoulders, and that's going to really allow us to generate some speed. So a way to practice that, a really good drill you could utilize, just grab yourself an alignment rod, and with this, what you can start to do is, the sound that we want to create with this is a nice whoosh through the strike area. So now that is coming through zero tension. I'm just allowing those wrists to whoosh, and you can see I'm not doing so much with my body. I'm not trying to overpower it. And you can see when I do that, if I'm tense, listen to, I'm trying really hard to hit that with tense arms, and you can hear that I'm out of breath, but also the sound of that whoosh wasn't very loud. I don't even know if you heard that on the camera there, but conversely, if I just start to, yes, have a nice pivot with my body, but if I start to use my wrists a little bit more in this fashion, now I'm getting this extra power source. And it's less effort, like I'm not out of breath. Yes, I've obviously worked hard to generate the speed, but it's much more efficient speed. It's much better timing, much better sequencing. So guys, let's reduce that tension. I'm going to show you an example here with the speed training segment we have here on TrackMan. And I'll show you some swings with my driver, some that are tense and then some that aren't. So the swing speed here, I'll try and swing fairly hard, try not to injure myself. And that's with tense arms, 88 mile an hour. Tense arms, 83. Okay, now we're going to try that with the same drill we've just done with the alignment rods that anybody can do. And I'm going to just utilize my wrist a little bit more with less tension and see if I can create that whoosh at the bottom. Let's see what the speed comes up at. 102 miles an hour. That's a jump of quite a lot. And again, 106 miles an hour. I'm not going all out there, but you can just see how the less tension, guys, huge piece. Often we try and control the drive and steer it down there. But remember, sometimes we've got to lose control to gain control. So that's number one. Let's reduce the tension. Here's a great drill with the alignment rod to hear it in action. Okay, guys, next part is all about the wrist, particularly at the top of the swing. So,
quick question for you. Did you know that 80% of your golf ball's direction comes from the club face angle at impact? And it's your wrists that control that angle. If you want to hit straighter shots and add more distance to your game, then check out the link in the description below.
Okay guys, so I'll put that in action now with the ball. We're going to try and less tension in the wrists, and let's see what speed we can generate here. So there we've got up to 113 miles an hour. And if I was to, again, bring tension in, I don't really want to do it actually, because it probably hurts my body as I'm trying to, it's difficult to slow down when you're tense, and you could actually get injured. So again, and this is pure speed, I'm not looking at direction here, so here we go. And that whoosh, that whew, really whipping through there. So 113 miles an hour again, 300 yards. That's what we're looking for, guys. So the next piece now, number 2, is all about the wrists at the top of the swing and how that can affect your distance and your power. So what I see so often in people that are reducing their distance is by having too much loft at impact, too much loft, which essentially creates this, what we call spin loft, which is really the difference between the attack angle. If this is your attack angle here going this way, and this is the dynamic loft that you present, that difference in between the two is what we call spin loft. So the higher that is, the less distance your driver is going to go. So when people have an open face at the top of the swing, typically causing an open face at impact, it's adding and increasing that spin loft, which is really reducing the distance, guys. So we've got to be sure to get that. And I'll show you an example here. If we get, we'll put the spin loft number here and we'll see what the distance is. So I'll purposely, and you'll see here with the help of HackMotion wrist sensor at the top of the swing, I'm going to purposely get my wrists in this more extended position, which you can see opens the face. We'll keep that relationship coming down into impact, and you'll see that spin loft number start to increase. Here we go. So I've purposely tried to generate, fairly similar speed. So what we'll see on there is 108. So very similar, only a few miles an hour off in terms of speed. But look what it does to the spin loft. That's gone up, that's doubled the spin loft. The smash factor is reduced, the efficiency of strike because it's more glancing blow. That was actually out in the middle of the face. But the open face increases spin loft, reduces ball speed significantly. And if you can see there on HackMotion, you can see at the top of the swing, I was into 40 degrees of extension. And I kept a lot of that coming into impact, 26 degrees in extension at impact. Again, opening the face, increasing spin loft, reducing distance. So guys, check your wrist positions at the top of the swing. So just trying to look for that more flatter wrist position at the top. You've got the help of HackMotion here. If you don't have HackMotion, you can simply look into a mirror and just be looking for a more flat condition with your wrists. You can also just imagine you almost reverse motorbike with revving it the opposite way. So when you get to the top here, as you sort of transition as well, you feel that lead wrist getting a little bit flatter, almost like you're revving the motorbike the opposite way. And again, that's going to get your club face in a better position at the top and early in the downswing, which is really going to help you square it up, reduce spin loft, and increase your distance. So now let's try again with some better wrist conditions at the top. So we're looking for a flatter lead wrist, and we'll see what that does to the spin loft. So actually got too flat there. Whew. But you can see, that's gone to 7.9 degrees of spin loft. Smash factor's jumped right up again. That was out the middle again, like the last one there. Again, club speed was only a little bit higher, but that ball speed jumped up 20 miles an hour, 310 yards. Spin loft has reduced. So guys, that's huge. And you can see there at the top of the swing, my club face, my wrists were in just 8 degrees of extension, which is a little bit outside the range. I was actually a little bit too flexed relative to my grip there. And you can see what that's done to my ball flight. So guys, don't miss out on that piece. So we've got reducing the tension to generate more speed. We've got checking your wrist conditions at the top of the swing, which then will help or hinder your ability to get to a good position at impact, and how that affects loft and how that affects distance. And then the final one, guys, number 3, is the wrist at impact and some different ways to generate speed with some different ideas. So we're going to first talk about a lot of players who are struggling to get distance with the driver and distance in general, because a lot of times we get the question, you know, do these tips relate to the driver as well as the iron? Well, when it comes to distance, absolutely. So this would work with your irons as well as the driver here. So players that are not getting the distance, we need to really start to get these hands and arms and these forearms and these hands starting to turn over a little bit more. You'll see post impact, and you see this with a lot of the best players in the world as well with the driver. We've got this position where almost the forearms are touching each other post impact. Now this is a wonderful way to generate speed and get those wrists and hands firing here. So often I'll see players particularly that don't hit it quite as far as they would like, they'll be holding onto the face, they'll be in this position, the face will be staying open. You get this look post impact where the left arm's very much above the right post impact. So we really want to be feeling this, guys. Now you might think, yes, you may lose control, and yeah, if we hit it further, we might lose a little bit of control, but sometimes we kind of lose control to gain control. And when it comes to distance, trying to steer, it's not going to do it for us, guys. It's not going to do it. So what we need to do is, for those of you really looking to get some more distance, really is just start to fire those hands and arms. A great drill that I love and still use today with players in the studio is feet together, like so, and just swinging and very much just using those hands and arms and just understanding how that works and just getting those forearms to kiss post impact. It's a wonderful way just to understand how we want to feel through the shot. So this primarily, I'll show you a shot here. So as we go up. So primarily that would help as well produce a draw for a lot of players, like so. So you can see I'm really turning those hands and arms over. And again, the spin loss really reduced, so you can see how that affects club face. Again, it helps keep the loft from opening up. It also helps fire that energy through the ball. And if you look here through my swing post impact, and you'll see this with some of the best players in the world. Obviously, I'm not one of the best players in the world at all, but you see how the hands and arms fire. And at this position, guys, you want to be able to see, and the club's post impact parallel to the ground, you want to be able to see your lead knuckles. So many times I'm seeing the left hand for the right hander above the right. So this is what you want to be seeing post impact. And that's getting your hands and arms to work in such a fashion that's going to help you generate maximum speed through the ball. From this view, watch this here, firing, bang. Look at those hands and arms. And you get this look. If you watch the best players in the world in slow-mo with the driver, that's the kind of idea you will start to see. Guys, if you are fast, and you might say, well, some players don't do that. There are a few, particularly players that like to fade the ball, but typically faders of the ball have enough speed to be able to fade it, to get that little bit more control with the fade. And what you might see for those players is, as they come through, they'll actually have that stronger face early. You might see a little bit more wrist flexion at the top of the swing. And then as they come through, they are able to maybe use their body a little bit more to stabilize the face and turn harder, stop the face from turning over quite as much, and start to hit those fades. But if you're looking purely for more distance, guys, I wouldn't typically recommend that for most everyday golfers that are struggling a little bit with speed and distance, but that is another alternative. But guys, there's my top 3 ideas how you can utilize your hands and wrists for more distance with your driver. So again, tension, use the alignment rod to hear the whoosh, get the feels of that. You've got the wrist conditions at the top. Be sure to get a nice neutral wrist, not too extended at the top, which then causes an open face at impact typically. And then we've got how to fire the hands and forearms and wrists through the ball to generate maximum club head speed, and hopefully drives as long as that. So guys, I hope that helped. If you'd like some more free tips to help you improve your game, please click the link below. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please post them below. Let's keep the conversation going, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.